Good afternoon, everyone. So before I start, I feel I owe you probably an introduction. I feel that we're the new kid on the block. Probably you haven't seen the logo last year. You've seen the other ones. So before I dive into what the platform does, I'm going to tell you a bit about the organization and where we're from. So as you can tell, I'm not Polish, surprise. I'm from the Netherlands. Mendix is originally founded 20 years ago in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam to be exact. That's still where our headquarters are and our R&D department sits. So we've got about 600 to 700 developers in Rotterdam building the platform. Wait a second, what am I seeing here? There we go. So building the platform. So if you may have Googled us, and if you looked at our website, you've also seen the name Siemens there. I'm not sure who has Googled us. Mendix, not that many, maybe after today. So you also see the name Siemens there. So about 6 years ago, we were acquired by Siemens. Siemens, I knew before that from microwaves and maybe trains and other hardware, but Siemens is becoming more and more a software player. And if you've maybe Googled some more, you can also see that they've also acquired another name that was on there, Altair. Today we'll keep them separate, but in the future that might become more and more integrated. By the way, there will be sessions tomorrow on Altair, hands-on, as well as hands-on sessions about Mendix. So we'll have 3 sessions, I believe at 10, 11, and 12, where my colleagues will take you through the platform. Very hands-on session and actually show you what it does rather than showing the marketing materials that you'll see today. By the way, I'm here with my colleagues Alessandro Zanetti, covering Poland, Larom, also from Altair, and my colleague Mike here as well. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, there will be 2 solution architects from Mendix to take you through the platform if you would like to be there. So that's about us. Now I'm going to tell you more about why we're here. So we have a new partnership together with Integral Solutions, and we're very happy with that. So very early on in the existence of Mendix, we actually made a choice to focus on what we do best, and that's making a platform that allows you to build software, which I'll get later on. So we also made a decision to find partners around us that have very specific horizontal and vertical knowledge that combine that knowledge with the Mendix platform and add value for our customers even faster. And I think Integral Solutions is a perfect example of what we've been looking for in order to approach the Polish market. Very strong vertical, but also very strong horizontal knowledge in terms of data. And I think if I heard it correctly, thanks to the interpreters in the back, I think you made a very strong comment that everything without the right data is probably useless, right? So, and I think that's exactly the strength of Integral Solutions. And it also applies to Mendix as well, right? So we're very happy that we have this partnership and looking forward to be here more often. So hopefully you'll see us the next year and the year after as well. So what problem do we solve? We see that enterprises are struggling with a massive demand for software, applications in general. And on the other hand, we have IT departments that are doing everything that they can do in order to keep up. But that's not easy, right? The demand only increases, being accelerated by all the technology that we've spoken about today. And IT is not simply doubling together with the demand. So Mendix is a way to help solve this gap, the gap between supply and demand, by providing a more faster, efficient way of developing software. Because developing enterprise software, and probably a lot of the people in this room are involved in enterprise software, then you can probably recognize that that is not easy, right? First of all, if you find the right developers, you need to keep the right developers, and you need to talk with the business, you need to get their requirements, you need to deal with highly regulated environments, you need to deal with all of your different tool sets that you already have. So developing software is very complex. I hope we can all agree. I know my colleagues agree. So what is Mendix? Mendix is a low-code platform. So you will hear us talk about low-code platforms a lot. And it's a platform to visually create software, both web as well as mobile applications. And we do that in a visual way. So on the right hand here, you see a visual representation of business logic in the Mendix platform. So the visual development allows you to go a lot faster, but I believe what is even more important, you can involve the business in the development process. So that you're constantly verifying that what you're doing is actually the right thing. So the domain experts are part of the development process. And ultimately, and I think that's also a very important topic of today, you need to integrate with your existing systems and get the right data into those applications. So that's what Mendix is. And we do that by automating every step of the application lifecycle. So if people think about application development, and I know we've spoken a lot about data, and this is about application development, is slightly a different world, but if they think about development, typically people think about just this small part, but it's actually a lot bigger process, right? It starts with sitting together with the business, really understanding what they want, planning that into sprints, then you start developing, but also deploying those applications, equally important, gathering feedback from your end users as well, and then using that feedback to then start your next sprint. And that's exactly what we do. And everything that we do, so since the last 20 years, is facilitating that business and IT collaboration, putting the people with the ideas together with the people that can make those applications. So that's facilitated by the platform. Then, what does that look like? And I know this is all abstract, which is also the reason why I would really invite you, if you're there tomorrow, to attend the sessions as well. But this is ultimately what the development part looks like. So we have an IDE, a development environment. If you download that from mendix.com, you will roughly see these visual languages. It's a visual way of creating pages, a visual way of creating logic, both short-lived logic as well as workflows, so long-lived processes, and a visual way of creating your data structure. And that all combined into one platform makes you basically have a full-stack developer into one platform. So we facilitate a way of putting all these different stakeholders, ranging from business analysts and business stakeholders, to the ones that are actually developing in the Mendix platform, all the way to technical specialists in one platform, so that you're creating enterprise-grade applications. And not just, for example, all the way on the left hand of the spectrum, where you can create sort of simple applications in a no-code kind of way. This is built for enterprise-grade applications in highly regulated environments. Now, what I think is the beauty, because maybe you've heard of the term low-code, and low-code by itself is not unique anymore. When I started at Mendix 13 years ago, what we did was very unique, but it's becoming more and more common. So there are vendors out there that have low-code as part of their offering. Microsoft has Power Apps, Salesforce has Salesforce Platform. ServiceNow has low-code capability to extend their systems. But I think what the beauty of Mendix is that Mendix was born 20 years ago to build applications across all these different platforms. And it's not tied to a specific ecosystem, although yes, we integrate, of course, with Siemens, but we integrate just as easily with SAP or with ServiceNow. So you build applications, you use data, and again, data is a very important topic, from these different systems, combine that visual logic, and create very great looking applications in the hands of end users. Whether those end users are internal or external. So we also build customer facing applications. Could be mobile, could be just web. So where do we position ourselves? So if we simplify an IT organization, you can see that you have these 4 boxes, where we position ourselves in everything that is unique, that you cannot buy off the shelf, because the first thing, if you can buy off the shelf, but you would otherwise use bespoke bespoke development, whether it's Java or .NET or any other type of development language. That's where we position ourselves, because that's where you get the value. That's where you differentiate you from your competitor. And that's where we are active the most. However, once you've established that capability with the help of, for example, integral solutions, you can then also shift to slightly more easy web use cases, right? So you could think about replacing Excel sheets or other departmental applications. If you then zoom into that top right, what are the different type of categories that we see? Basically, it's these three. Everything that involves engaging with your customers. Could also, by the way, what we see lately a lot with your employees. Automating business processes, so that's everything around operational efficiency and modernizing core systems. So, for example, moving away from S4 ECC6 and moving into S4 HANA, an important proposition that we see a lot. Then, have not spoken about one thing, and of course, I mean, I could not, leave the stage without talking about AI. And of course, we leverage AI. And I would even argue that we're very well suited for using this AI wave that we're all, seeing coming at us, and taking it even further than combining AI with high code. So how do we do that? So we do it on two different things. So one is AI-assisted development, which I will talk about in a minute. And the second one is enhancing your applications with AI. So the end product, the product that you actually build using the platform. So you can make smarter applications. But if we zoom in onto the first part, which is for today probably the most important part, we basically infuse that application lifecycle that I've just showed you with AI in every different step. And we're adding more and more tools to that, going from, generating user stories using AI based on the description to even making models for you. So this collection of AI is what we capture as Maia, which I've now noticed is not a very original name. I've seen Claire, I think. Then what was the second one? I've seen another one. I've seen another one from another vendor. And ours is Maia. I think as long as it has an A and an I in it, then you can package it as your AI assistant. It's Mendix AI Assist. So again, it provides a developer with guidance. It provides assistance, and ultimately it can generate logic or even pages for you. And again, this is all, the outcome is very readable, right? Rather than having lovable, generate a whole pile of code for you. This is understandable code that you can then control. So, to be honest, we are new to Poland. We are here for a reason. We see a lot of opportunity in this market and a lot of value that we can add. But yes, we are new. Worldwide, we have over 4,000 clients. Majority will be in Northern Europe, UK, US, Middle East, APAC. But now we see, together with Integral Solutions, an important opportunity to also add value here. Just if we pick out some of the Polish names, Rabe Logistics, actually Rabe Group has been a customer for a very long time, over 10 years. Recently, I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name, but the Polish Fire Brigade, so I'm not going to do that in Polish. I tried last night, but failed. And another one is, for example, Solaris. So these are just some local examples that we see here. But I think the biggest message is here that we are active in a lot of different markets, which is also the reason why we're an independent brand within the Siemens family, because we have a very strong footprint in financial services, insurance, and other markets like logistics and retail. For the next coming day and a half, so especially at drinks, please feel free to approach us, Mika, myself, or Alessandro, or anyone of the Integral Solutions team, and to ask us more about what you see here on the screen and tell you more about Lowcode. Thanks a lot for now.